call it. Okay, so basically the question is we have to accept the price of two products, and if the total is above 3000, we have to add a 10% service tax and print it out, right? So how will we approach this problem is first again our basic. Yeah, so here you see, right, the first opening bracket is there for the class. The second opening and closing bracket is there for the void main. So one thing that
Yes,
we
sir.
always have to keep in mind while doing this is we should not create another block of code like through these braces inside unless it is absolutely necessary. Can you guys tell me where will we actually put all these braces, like with what other?
So can you repeat the question? I couldn't hear the question.
Right. So the thing is, right, one major thing that we have to take care of while writing programs is that we don't make it confusing for the reader to understand, right? So we won't create blocks of code with these curly braces unless absolutely required. So can you guys tell me where you would put blocks of code in with what statements? I'll give an example, right? With if, right? If the if block of codes contain more than like one or two lines, I mean more than two lines, you would put a block of code there. You would use the curly braces, and even for the same case for the for loop and while loop also. So unless these things happen, right? Don't use these curly braces for other purposes. Okay. Now I'm just initializing the
Yes.
scanner
So
class.
what should we display here?
One second, somebody I'll just tell you something randomly. I'll wait, yeah. What we should display here, the problem is we are going to accept the price of two products, right? Add 10% tax if total is above 3000, right? Let's say this is the question.
Okay.
And print the bill. And print the bill, right? So again, let's import our java.util.scanner, import java.util.scanner. Okay. Now let's say we have to input the price of two elements, right? So price A, price B. Now we have total amount and we have tax. Again, we have initialized all of this in one line itself. Again, this is again a stylistic choice. Now system.out.println, enter the price of product A. Price A is equal to sn.string. Now I just copy paste this for the second product. Okay, right. Now what does the question say is let's say assume now the amount is price A plus price B, right? This is by default. One second, assembly is done. To find the sum of all even factors of a number, java.util. Okay, I'll just come back and check this out, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have calculated the assumed price of A and B, right? Now, if amount is greater than 3000, now what should I do inside this block? Can somebody read the question and tell me?
Like we have to give 10% tax.
Right, we
10%
have to
tax.
add 10% tax to the original amount, right? So this can be done in multiple ways. One simple way to do it will be is equal to amount into 110 by 100, right? So now system dot out, I think this is right. Your total is plus amount. So let's see what we have done, right? Now let's run the program. Allow access. Yeah. Okay, enter the price of product A 200, enter the price of product B is 300. So now the total bill will be 500, right? Now let us go for the case where it is above 1500, 1500. Okay, something is wrong. What have I done wrong? Amount. Okay, this may be better writing.
Sir, why did you multiply it by 110?
That was for 10% tax, right? So that's how it works, right? 100 into 110. You're adding 10% tax to the total, so it'll be 110 times of what it is divided by 100. Okay, anyway,
Yes, sir.
just to make that tax is equal to um, amount into 10 by 100 amount plus equal tax, right? So this should enter the price of product A 1500. Oh, I got what the issue was. Okay, now the 3500 is the total, right? So 3500, 10% of 3500 is 350. So 3500 plus 350 is 3850, right? So the issue before was I had put amount is greater than 3000. That's why when I entered 1500 plus 1500, it came out to be 3000. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell Varshini. So right here, right, whenever we have to add something, add 10% of the total tax is if the total is above 3000. So what I want us to do first is, first you calculate the amount as it is, right? Whatever amount you're getting for the
Yes, sir.
prices of two products, just calculate amount is equal to price A plus price B. Now, if the total is above 3000, add 10%. So this is right. This is what we are doing, right? Once we read the question clearly, we might get an idea of what we have to do. Accept the price of two products. So first we are going to accept the price of two products. Now add 10% of tax if the total is above 3000. So I should only add 10% tax if the total is above 3000. So what is the next thing I have to calculate? Total. So that is what we have done here. Amount is equal to price A plus price B. Now if total is above 3000, we'll add 10% tax. Tax is equal to amount into 10 by 100. So that is 10% of amount. Our tax equal to amount into 10 by 100, and we are adding that tax. So now system.out.println, your total is amount. So one other point to notice here is we are only using one opening and closing bracket here, one opening and closing for the if loop, and one opening and closing for the class. So this is how we are going to reduce the number of curly braces, right? And whenever we write a program, we try to make it as easy for the user to understand, right? So otherwise your program logic is good, but only you have to accommodate for that time when the price of the two products is something below 3000, right? So otherwise it's perfect.
So like I have a doubt.
Mhm.
In the last second statement, you did amount plus is equal to tax. So what does that do?
Oh, right. So this is actually called a shorthand assignment, right? So this basically is the same as amount plus tax. So
Oh, okay.
like the way to read it is amount is equal to amount plus tax, right? So you just, whenever you're using this shorthand symbol, so can you guys guess what this would do?
Amount into tax.
Yeah, amount is equal to amount into tax. Perfect. So that is the logic there, guys. That is shorthand assignment. You can use the standard long assignment also if you feel comfortable, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the next question I saw on the chat box? Okay, now write a program to find sum of all even factors of a number. Okay, so I'll just paste it in my this thing and we'll see what's. Yeah, see, this is also good behavior to follow whenever we write a program, right? She has clearly mentioned what program we are writing, right? So that's also good practice to follow in your board exam wherever. You should always write a program. You're not writing a program for yourself. You're writing a program not only for the user but also somebody else who will edit the program later. So try to include more comments and try to include exactly what the program does, right? So I'll just copy this, paste it here, and let's see. Okay, public rename file to loop one. Okay. Sum of all even factors of a number. Okay. So she's saying scanner. Okay, initializing the scanner. Correct. System dot out dot println enter number. Correct. Int num is equal to sc dot nextend. That is correct. Int sum is equal to 0. Okay. For int I is equal to 1, I below is equal to num. Okay, I plus plus. Okay, if num mod by I is equal to 0, correct, and then I mod by 2 is equal to 0. So if I is even and num is divisible by I, then you have to put sum is equal to sum plus I, right? This should work. This should perfectly work. So let's just see program. Okay, could not find. Okay, this, right, again this is not an issue. This is because with different IDEs you need to specify this part differently. It's correct what you have done. It's not an issue. Okay, enter number 4. Okay, sum of even factors is 6, right? 4 plus 2, correct. And we just go for another case. Let's say 12. So we have 2, 4, 6, right? 10, 12, and 12 itself, correct. So yeah, this is perfect. When we are assuming the number itself is a factor of itself, correct. The next program is, does anybody want to show me another program?
So that's mine, which I just
So,
pasted.
Oh, right, I just saw it. Sorry. Read a
Yeah,
number
it's
from.
okay. I just sent it.
Yeah. So this is our third program. We check. Read a number from the user. Okay, what does the program say? Read a number from the user. See now, whenever the question is there, right? In the question itself, you will get what to do, right? The basics. So when you guys see an exam in your boards, unit tests, exams, whatever, right? I don't want you guys. Yeah, sorry about that. I think now my audio will be much clearer. There is a plane above my head. Okay, so you guys can hear me, right now properly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So okay, now see, when you guys get a problem in your boards or assessments or anything, right? Let's say it is the last question and you don't know the other option for sure. Like like you don't won't get it itself. So it is the last question with your board. So what will your approach be that time to solve that problem? What should you do? You think? Should you skip it?
So like I didn't get it. Can you repeat?
Yeah.
So let's say you have your exam, right, in your boards or whatever. Somebody don't know. You have your exam, final exam, right, and it's the last 10 marks question or something. Programming is left, right? So and you don't know how to solve the problem. Like you see a very big problem and you don't know how to solve it. So what would you do? What would your approach be that time?
So like I'll write what I know.
Yeah. So first, right, first thing that I want you guys to remember is whenever you see a problem, always read it step by step. So first, what they're asking, read a number from the user. Right? I won't read this problem like read a number from the user if even add 3 to it, else add 2 to it and display the new one. Right? That's not what we'll do. First, if we don't understand the whole question, first we'll take a first step. Read a number from the user. Okay. Let's see if we have done that. Scanner SE equal to new scanner system.in system.out.println enter any number int a is equal to sc.next. So that is what has been done here, right? Read a number from the user. So right, this is also like your programming part, right? So never ever skip a question in the exam, or never ever like not write whatever is required in the paper, right? Whatever you understand from the question, right, and always break the question into steps. Now if even, add 3 to it, else add 2 to it and display the new value. Okay, a mod by 2 is equal to 0, a is equal to a plus 3, else if a mod by 2 not equal to 0, a plus 2. Okay, so this seems fine. Okay, let's just see. Enter any number, let's say 6, right? Required output is 9, correct. And now the second case, enter any 5, and yeah, so this is perfect. And one more thing, right, what I want you to do is always add comments like this. See, I've written reading like let's say reading a number from the user, and this is if even we add 3, if odd we add 2. See, now that I've like broken down the problem into separate components, right, now we can clearly map it back to the question. Is in our program, is this part there reading a number from the user? Yes, we are reading a number from the user. If even, are we adding 3 to it? If even, we add 3, and else add 2 to it and display the new one. Else this part, and here we're displaying the new one. So this is how, right, we broke down the problem into the required steps, and we saw everything is matching, and we finished our program. So this is my advice to you guys. Whenever you see a hard problem, don't get scared. 99% you'll know it. Last 1% you might even get while doing the question paper, right? Because new ideas keep coming into your head as you think about a problem. And always break it down to steps to make it easier. Yeah. So that's perfect. The next question, guys. Guys, I hope I'm audible all this while. Like, if there's any breakage in voice, you can tell me.
You're audible only, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's the next question?
I only did one question, sir.
Sir, I'll just copy paste my next question.
Okay. Anybody who can copy paste the next question, you can copy and paste here.
Sir, I pasted it.
Okay. Maybe it's taking some time for me to come. The chat to reload.
Sir, it's the first one.
Sum of all even factors, right? We have finished that question.
Yes.
Second
Oh,
question.
okay.
Read a number from the user. If even add, yeah, this question we have finished. Okay, now the new question. Can somebody go back to that homework page and paste the new question here?
So like I have a doubt in a program, but then like I can't paste it because the current is not there. So I can tell you the question. So can you show how to do the program?
Yeah, and tell me the question.
Okay. Write a program to read time in seconds and display total hours, minutes, and remaining seconds.
Write a program to read time in seconds.
And display total hours, minutes, and remaining seconds.
So this, right, it's not a very easy problem, I would say, right? Okay, let's just see how to do it. Public class seconds. Okay, public static void main string ARGS. Okay, so what does a program say to us, right? Write a program to read the time in seconds. Okay, let's see. What should my first step be here?
To accept the time.
Yeah, accept the time in seconds, right? So that is going to be my first step. Import, yeah, now system.out.println, enter the time in seconds. Okay, now int seconds, int let's say inp is input. Okay, sn dot next. Okay, now what should our first step be? Can anybody guess from the second print hours, minutes, and seconds, remaining seconds, right? So what would our first step be?
So when it says to print hours, so should we convert the input what the user has given and convert it to hours?
Yeah, we have to take, see, like let's say like the user gives something like 3605 seconds. Okay. So 3605 seconds is 1 hour and 5 seconds, correct? So that is how that is the format that the user is asking us to print it. So what would our first step be? See, first part we have done, write a program to read the time in seconds. Now what should our first step be here? Reading the time in seconds. Might be okay. Now we have the total time in seconds. Now I have to take hours, minutes, and seconds. I have to split it into. What would my first approach be there?
So converting seconds to hours.
Perfect, perfect. That's such a good solution. We are the first supposed to take how many hours are left. And what would be next?
Converting the rest to minutes and then seconds.
Yeah, that is a very important thing she said. Converting the rest to minutes. So now first we'll try to take out how many hours are there from the time, and then we'll remove those many seconds. Then we'll see whatever time is left, and then we'll remove those many minutes from the seconds, and whatever is finally remaining will be the remaining seconds. So that is what the logic that she is suggesting. So let's see how will we try to implement this. Okay, so finding the number of hours. Okay, now first thing that I want you guys to tell me is how many seconds are there in an hour?
3600.
Perfect. So int hours is equal to seconds by what should be there? What do you guys think? See, I want to find the number of hours in a certain set of seconds, and you guys are telling me there are 1 hour should contain 3600 seconds. So what should I do here? Seconds by?
So seconds by 3600 into
Perfect. So let's just see
100.
what this does. Okay, wait. I'll give you another example, right? So let's say there are 20 apples, right? And you have each student should get 5 apples, right? So how many students can get apples then? How would you tell me mathematically? There are 20 apples in total, and there are 5. Each student should get 5 apples. Okay. So how many I'm asking the question. How many students can get apples? If
So we should do like 20 by 5.
Perfect. So 20 by 5 is the mathematical representation there. So I am telling I have X amount of seconds, and each R should get 3600 seconds. So the mathematical representation there would be X by 3600 will give the number of hours. Okay. Now coming to the next thing she said. She said something else. What did she say?
So to convert the seconds to minutes
Rest
and
to
then
the
rest to minutes
Rest.
and
Yeah, so rest. So how would you find the rest, whatever is remaining? So let's think.
so we subtract the
Seconds is equal to, now the remaining seconds is equal to how much? Seconds, okay, we have to
so
solve
total minus the hours.
total minus the hours. Okay, this is almost a perfect answer, but there is a huge error here. There's a very big error. Okay, because okay, can you guys okay, let's say one person has run 3 kilometers, right? And another guy is coming and telling, bro, I run 5 meters. What are you saying? I'm so fast. I'm like, I have so much stamina. But he's only run 5 meters, right? And this guy's other guys run 3 kilometers. So what is the issue there?
so like the value is different. One is kilometers and one is in meters.
Exactly. So what we are doing here, we are trying to subtract hours from seconds. So how would you convert hours to seconds?
So into 60.
Hours to seconds. One hour has how many? I mean, okay, convert 2 hours into seconds. One hour has 3600 seconds. So 2 hours will have 2
So uh, 7,200.
Exactly. So what did you do? 2 into 3600, right?
Yeah,
That's
sir.
what we are doing here. So not 60 but 3600, right? Okay. Now let us see system.out.print the number of. Let's just see. Okay, what this returns. Plus hours. Okay. Now let's enter something like 7500. Right. The number of hours is 2. That perfectly we have found out the number of hours is 2. Now I'll also add one more thing. System.out.println the remaining second is plus seconds. Right. So now I'll write 3650. Right. Okay. The number of hours is 1. The remaining seconds is 50. Okay. Now this we are perfectly understood. We are able to take number of hours left. Okay. Now can you guys tell me how would I do this? Int minutes. Sorry. Okay. Guys, tell me the mathematical logic for this.
So 1 hour is 60 minutes.
But okay, why are okay? Can you just explain why you went to the hours and minutes conversion?
So since because we found out the hours, so
We found out
also
yeah.
so we should I think take the remaining seconds and then convert it to minutes.
Exactly. See, we have found out the number of hours, and like when a child grows up, right? He goes to college and he goes to work. Like in the family, they're like, oh no, now we don't need you anymore. You can go away. So that's similar to what we're doing here. We found the number of hours. So we're like, okay, you go away. We don't care about your number of hours. Now we'll take care of the second child. That is the number of minutes, the younger child. So now seconds by What should be there? For hours we did.
So 60.
Exactly.
So 60.
Okay. Now remaining seconds will be. See, now we have taken the number of minutes out of the picture. Now we have to remove how many ever minutes we have taken. We have to remove from the total time. Let us say I have two. Okay, I'll give you an example, and you guys tell me. I have 200 seconds with me, and you want to take 3 minutes away from me. So what number of seconds will be remaining? I have 200 seconds, and you guys are stealing 3 minutes away from me. So how much would I have remaining? How many seconds?
So 100 minus 1, the total number of seconds you had minus 120 seconds.
Okay, if I have, okay, can we represent it mathematically? I'll just give you an example. I have 200 seconds, and you guys want to take 3 minutes away. So now, to do 200 seconds minus 3 minutes, the same problem, right? We are trying to subtract two other units. Either you have to convert this into minutes or this into seconds. But now, as our full program is in seconds, so we have to convert the minutes into seconds. So how do
So it will be like seconds minus seconds by 60.
200 seconds minus 3?
Sorry, minutes into
So
60.
that will be
minutes
20.
into 60.
Which will be? Oh yeah, 20 seconds will be the answer.
20 seconds, yeah.
Let us mathematically represent this. So
Into 60.
Exactly. So that is how you convert minute into seconds. So this is how we have done it here, right? We had the total remaining seconds. We have subtracted the number of minutes into 60. Now let me just, to clarify, let me give you another problem. I have 140 seconds, and you guys are taking 1 minute away from me. So represent it mathematically. 140. So how would you represent it mathematically?
So 140 minus 1 minute into 60.
Exactly. So the same thing will follow here. So seconds minus.
Minus minutes into 60.
Perfect. Now let's see. System dot out dot. Minutes. Okay, now let's see. Let us say we had only 360 seconds. Okay, so the number of hours is 0, the number of minutes is 6, the remaining seconds is 0. Does that make sense to you guys? In 360 seconds there are 2 or 6 minutes, no remaining seconds, and it's not big enough to be counted in number of hours, right? Okay, can anybody tell me why, let's say 36726? Okay, now can anybody explain me this result? Number of hours is 1, number of minutes is 1, the remaining seconds is 12. So can you guys tell me how, explain me this solution? How will I know if it's right?
So like 1 hour is 3600 seconds. So since there is 3672, it will be 1 hour.
Okay, 3672, 1 hour. Okay, so now remaining 72 seconds. So 72 seconds, how many minutes are there?
72 there will only be 1 minute, and then the remaining will be
12 seconds. Yeah, perfect. So that is how when you get the time in seconds, you convert into hours, minutes, and seconds. See now how we broke down the question. We found the logic that we have to always convert the rest into minutes and seconds, and then we print it out. So this is how we do that program, right? I want see, because this is a little tricky program, I want you guys to take a screenshot, and after this class, right, just read through this program yourself and see why we did what we did, how we did it, and how we got the answer, right? You guys took a screenshot?
So also one more doubt, like when we're converting that seconds is equal to seconds minus minutes into 60, like does the BODMAS rule automatically apply, or should we put those in the brackets?
You have a hierarchy of operators, right? You have multiply and division always go before subtraction and addition. That is why I can see I've written in 2 styles, but both styles will work. Even this will work. Sorry.
Okay.
So it's very similar to the BODMAS rules in math, right? Because see, the foundations of computer science were built from math. So if logically everything will follow BODMAS rule if you type.
Okay.
Now, guys, you took a screenshot.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Okay, I'll take a screenshot too. Now, okay, going to the next question. Okay, a WAP to read three numbers, add the first two. If even, check if the third number is prime. Even else, check if the third number is perfect number. Okay, whoever sends this question, right, we'll do it. But again, this is not a matter of public class number, public static void name string. Okay, whenever, okay, what I was trying to say is whenever you're reading for your exams or whatever, right, always all these like prime number may be a simple logic to perform, and perfect number may be another simple logic to perform. But the thing is, right, so what they'll do is in questions, right, they will do it in such a way that all the logics are combined into one program. So if you see this program, right, it's asking you should know the prime number logic and the perfect number logic, right? So that is one thing that you guys have to keep in mind. All these simple programs, right, prime number, perfect number, always just like I wouldn't say by heart it or anything. At least practice it once so you know it perfectly in the board exam, because everything.
So like there's a huge, big chance that they'll give it like what is the prime number in the question itself.
What do you mean?
So like if they ask us to display the prime number, it will be given in the question, and there'll be brackets saying what a prime number is and how do
Yeah,
you.
true, true. But the thing is, right, always like things that are in your control, I would always suggest that. Okay, again, this is actually like terrible advice in one sense that everybody in like a programming exam is supposed to think and write the exam. But again, if you can be prepared for a scenario, why not prepare for it before than go and think about it in the exam and write, right?
Yes.
So if like that will be like 10 easy mark, like I'll tell you, if you are going to think about a certain program and write in a board exam, probably take 15 to 20 minutes, right? But if you know it by like you just know how to write a certain program, that will take probably like 5 to 6 minutes. So that is the difference, like between being prepared for a problem and not being prepared for a problem. So yeah, if whatever you're comfortable with, if you guys are very very confident that you can go crack the logic in the exam, then do so. But my advice is always be prepared for any scenario, because a lot of bad things happen when we are very very confident about certain things. Okay, scanner sn is equal to new scanner system dot in and num1 num2 num3. Okay, so what is being asked in the question? WAP to read three numbers, add the first two. Okay, so let us accept all numbers first. System dot out dot println, enter num1 num1 is equal to sn. Okay, okay, num2 num3 num3, okay, num2. Okay, so now again what I told you guys before, the same logic we have followed, reading three numbers, right? Now what does it say in the next part of the question? Add the first two. Okay, that seems simple. So let me just add one more here. Sum is equal to num1 plus num2. Okay, now if even, check if third number is prime. So what should I put there?
If n mod 2 is equal to 0.
Instead of n, what will come? Okay, we are adding the first two if even. So we have that addition of the first one in sum. So what will come here?
If sum mod 2
Perfect.
is equal to 0.
Perfect. Now, if sum mod 2 equal to 0, else. Okay. Now let's see. If even, check if third number is prime. So okay, guys, I want you guys to guide me on this. How should I write the prime number logic? What define a prime number? What is a prime number and what is
a number which can be only divisible by the 1 in itself.
Okay, 1 in itself is a prime number. Perfect answer. Can anybody else tell me how can I when do I know if a number is a composite number? Anybody wants to give a guess?
When
So when
it
it
is
has like
divisible
multiple
by
factors.
other number.
Repeat please. 1 second.
When it is divisible by other numbers.
Exactly. That is a good logic. That is a good logic. If a number is divisible by a number other than 1 in itself, it should be a composite number. Okay, Boolean is prime equal to true. Okay, now first, right, we are just assuming the number 3 is going to be a prime number. This is what we call an assumption. Okay, now when should this assumption break? Okay, let me say, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Akshay, I come and tell someone, I come and tell Mitra that I don't think Akshay has a big mansion. Okay, when will this assumption break? You will assume that I'm telling the truth, and you like say, okay, Akshay doesn't have a big mansion. You also agree, but when will that assumption break to you? Like, when do you think you'll stop believing that assumption?
When you like go see it yourself if he really has the mansion or not.
Exactly. So if you see something that goes against the truth value of what I said, then you will think that assumption is false, right? So I told you something. If there is a case that goes against the assumption, then that becomes false. So now I'm assuming a number is prime. So when does it become that assumption? When does that assumption break?
When it is divisible by more than two numbers.
Yeah, more than two numbers. What numbers are they? More than what are the two numbers?
One in itself.
Yeah, when it is, can you just rephrase that? When it is divisible by numbers other than, you told it correct. When a number is divisible by divisors other than one and itself,
One and itself.
it should be a composite number. So let's just write that in the code part. So int I is equal to 2, I below num3, I plus plus. Okay. Now we have written that simple part, right? Now, if num3 mod by I. Okay, I want to check if num3 is divisible by I. So what should I write? The remaining part, what should come? Num3 mod by I is equal to, I want to check if num3 is divisible by I. So can you guys tell me what should go inside these circular brackets? Any guess, guys? Any guess? Whatever you guess, right? You can tell inside this bracket apples should be there. Inside this bracket one car should be there. It doesn't matter, right? We are all learning. What should go inside the bracket? Num3 is divisible by I when?
And the remainder is 0.
Exactly. Okay. Now, if num3 is divisible by 0, that means it has a factor other than 1 in itself. So I had assumed that it is a prime number. I had an assumption. Now something broke my assumption, right? Something that went against my assumption. Now should I reverse the truth value of my assumption? See, now at first I told Akshay has a big house. I mean, Akshay doesn't have a big house. Then Achintya went all the way. He went like, oh, I have to go see for myself, and he actually saw you have a very big mansion. Then is my statement true or false?
True, right?
Yeah, no. See, I told Achintya doesn't have a big mansion. You went and saw that Achintya has a big mansion. So, did what I told to you, was it true or false?
So
False.
Exactly. So, the same logic we are following here. We are assuming a number to be prime. Then we are saying if it has a divisor other than 1 in itself. So, if it has a divisor other than 1 in itself, that means our assumption is false. So, we write is prime is equal to false. So, for a number to be composite, it needs to only have one divisor other than 1 in itself. It doesn't, even if it has 10 divisors other than 1 in itself, it has one divisor other than 1 in itself, it is a composite number. So, we don't have to keep checking. So, what I do here is break. Now, if is prime, we say system.out.println number is prime, number 3 is prime, else system.out.print println number 3 is not prime. Okay, perfect. So now let's see sum mod by 2 is equal to 0, right? Now let's just give the first case f11. Okay, let's say number 1 is 2, number 2 is 4, number 3 is 7, right? So number 3 is prime, so 2 plus 4 is 6. So if even we check if the third number is prime, that we have done. Okay, now can anybody tell me what a perfect number is? Even I don't know the definition clearly, so I am relying on you guys for this one. What is a perfect number?
So I'm not sure actually.
Okay, anybody else? See, I think I know what the definition is. I'm not very sure of it, but okay, I think the perfect number is something like 6. Okay, because the factors of 6 are 1, 2, and 3, right? So 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 6. So that is what a perfect number is. If the sum of the factors other than itself is equal to the number, then it is a perfect number. Can anybody confirm if that is the definition? Okay, wait, I may have internet. I just check. A perfect number. In theory, a perfect number is a positive integer that is equal to the sum of its positive divisors. Yeah. So, yeah, 1 plus 2 plus 3. Yeah, correct. So, that is the definition. Okay. So, let's see how we can implement it in code. So, now, can you guys tell me what loop I will be using here?
Nested if.
Nested if. Yeah, one nested if perfect. There is there somewhere. But I have to go from numbers from 1 to 1 less than the other number. So what loop will do that for me? I have to iterate for a certain number of times. So what loop should I use? Iteration. What can should it be else? If does else do iteration? What are the loops that do iteration, guys?
For, while, do, while.
For, exactly. Let's use for in I is equal to 1, I below num3 I plus plus, right? Now int sum of divisors is equal to 0. Okay, now if I'll just give you the mathematical equation, you guys tell me how will I write it in code. Okay, now if num3 is divisible by I'll have to add that to sum of divisors. So how will you do that? If num3 is divisible by I, can anybody tell me what the logic there is? If, what should I put here?
Should it be like num3 mod I is equal to 0?
Perfect. Num3 mod I is equal to 0. Now I have to add I to the sum of divisors. So how would I do that? I have to add the value of I to the value of sum of divisors. So how would I do that? Sum of divisors is equal to, is it this? Sum of divisors is equal to I. What's wrong here? Can anybody tell me what I want to add it, but what is it doing right now?
This is displaying I. It's not like adding with the num3, I think.
Yeah, it is assigning it to I. So I'll tell you the difference, right? When I say go and add 3 to 10, you will bring me back 13. When I say go and assign 3 to the where the value of 10 was stored, then you'll go and change, remove the value of 10, put the value of 3 and return to me. So that is what is happening here. I want to add the value of I to the sum of divisors, not assign it. So it will be something like sum of divisors equal to sum of divisors plus I. Okay, now the final part is outside the for loop you come and see if sum of divisors is equal to num3 print system dot out dot number is perfect, else system dot out dot print number 3 is not perfect. Okay, so let's see. Enter num1 is 3, enter num2 is 2. Okay, num3, let's enter 6 first. Number 3 is perfect. I mean, number is perfect. Now, can anybody tell me what the divisors of 5 are? Does 5 have any, what are the divisors of 5?
1 itself.
Okay, 1 and itself. So if you take only the sum of the perfect divisors other than itself, so we are supposed to get something like 5. So only 1 is the divisor. So 1 is not equal to 5. So when we enter 5, right, we are supposed to get number 3 is not perfect. Let's see if that is happening. So again we go with this 3. Oh, sorry, that means even. I don't want that. 3 and 2. Okay, now let me enter 5. Number 3 is not perfect. Yeah, 5 is not a perfect number. So that is how you do this, guys. Again, what I'll suggest is I'll send the code to you probably after the class. Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, guys. Next problem. Does anybody have another problem? Okay. Okay. So let's see how we can do this, guys. Public class number, right? Public static void num name string args. Sorry, args. Okay, right. Now let's say I have a number 1003. How would you get the last digit of this number? I'm telling you, you mod it with a certain number, so it returns the last digit of a number. Can you tell me what would that number be? What number should I mod it with? Can anybody tell me what happens when you divide a certain find the modulus of a certain number with 10? So I'm saying 53 modulus 10. What is the result of that? 53 modulus 10. Can anybody give a guess? What is the modulus operator do?
5.
Yeah.
Sir, just output the remainder.
Perfect. Good answer. Good answer. Perfect. It outputs the remainder modulus operator. Now, what happens? What is 53 modulus 10?
So 5.
Modulus 10. Modulus will give the remainder. So let's do this mathematically. 53 divided by 10. So that is quotient will be 5. Remainder will be.
Sir, it will be 5. See, answer is 5.3.
Answer is 5.3 when we do it like proper division wise. But do you guys remember, like in primary school, right, from 1st to 6th, we didn't know all this like decimals and all. Decimals came and complicated our lives. But in primary school, we used to do one very fun thing. Like instead of dividing, right, we used to call it something called remainder. So we just used to come and leave it off without calculating decimal, nothing, no tension. Come calculate remainder and leave. So when I divide 53 by 10, what will be my remainder?
3.
3. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. When I 105 modulus 10. Can you guys tell me what would be? What would that be? 105 modulus 10.
21.
Modulus 10. Modulus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Varshini, what was it?
So 0.
Okay, so I'll just tell you what the modulus function does. Modulus will take the remainder of any operation, right? So I'll just give an example, guys. What is 5 mod 2?
1.
1. Why? Because you tried dividing 5 by 2. You could only divide 4 perfectly, but the remaining 1 you couldn't divide. So what is 6 mod 2?
0.
0. Perfect. Now, what is 5 mod 5?
0 again. No, it will be 1. Will it not be like. Okay, yeah, 0, 0, 0,
0.
0.
Yeah, perfect. Now, what is 8 mod 6?
2.
2. Perfect. Okay. Now we are going to do something very fun. 45 mod 10.
So 5.
5. Perfect. Perfect. Now, 16 mod 10.
6.
6. Okay. Okay. Perfect. 300 and something like this. Mod 10. It's very fun, right?
1.
1. Perfect. Perfect. So you guys got the logic, right? Whenever you're modding
Yeah,
a
sir.
number by 10, we are just simply returning the last number, right? Bindas, we have no tension there. We are just returning the last number. So that is what I want you guys to remember. Whenever we are dividing a number by, modding a number by 10, blindly we'll know that it will return the last digit of that number. Okay, now let us think about something else. What is 335 by 10? Tell me like in an integer way. Like tell me, assume all of this to be integers and even this right hand side to
So
be
33.
33. Yeah. So now 45 by 10. Assume these are all integers, right? So integers can't store decimal value.
This is 4.
4. Exactly. Now we can make another blind assumption. So even if we have something like this by 10, it will just be the last number. It will be this much, right? So that is what our whole programming is about. When we modulus a number by 10, we'll get the last digit. When we divide a number by 10, we'll get all the digits except the last digit. Okay, so this is the logic that I want you guys to remember. Now let us see, this question is a bit different. Okay, we'll again use the same standard approach that we knew. First, we are reading a number. It says read a 4-digit number. Reading a number. System.out.println. Enter the 4-digit number. Okay. Okay. Find the first digit of the number. Okay. This is a very tricky thing. Find the first digit of a number. 5633. So what number am I trying to find there? What is the first digit of this number?
So 5.
5. So I should find 5. 5. Okay. So what do you guys think I should do? Can I divide this 5633 by a number x to get 5? What would that number be?
100.
It's a very good guess. You're right on track, but something you're missing. It's not 100, but it's a very
Is it a
So
1000?
what about using a
1000.
for loop and dividing it by 100 till it is less than 10?
See, that is actually a nice trick, okay, but that breaks because as soon as you divide something less than a 2-digit number by 100, it becomes 0. So that is not something we want. But Akshay, you told me some number, right? A very good number.
1000, I said.
1000, yeah. So let's see. What is 668 by 1000?
6.
6. What is 552 by 1000?
5.
5. Exactly. So now I think you guys have figured the code out. This is how, see, because when we want from a 4-digit number, when we want the first digit, we simply divide it by 1000. So 5000 by 1000 is 5. So it gives me the first digit. 5300 by 1000 is 5.3. We don't consider the decimal part because we are all integers. We do every integer base. So that becomes 5. So when we divide by 1000, we get the first digit. Okay. So let me write that. Find the first digit of the number. Int first dig is equal to first I should int num is equal to sn dot first we have to initialize scanner sn.in. Okay, int number is equal to sn.next int. First digit is equal to num by 1000. Okay, now the remainder of the digit. What is the remainder? Once we remove the first digit, what remains here? Once I remove the first digit from this number, what would be remaining?
668.
668. Okay. Now, how would I get 668 from this number? See, first now is okay. Just
So
give me
model
modulus. Yeah, modulus.
100.
Yeah, modulus is the correct one. But modulus what number?
1000.
1000. Yeah. So it's the same logic, right? Here, when we are doing it with a two-digit number, 53 by 10 will give us 5. 53 mod 10 will give us 3. So a very similar logic we are using here. 6668 by 1000 will give 6. 6668 modulus 1000 will give 668. Right. So that is the basic logic here. Int remaining num mod 1000. Sorry. System.out. The total is enter total equal to first which must remain. Yeah. Okay, so let's just test this program out first. Okay, let's say we have a number like 5372. Okay, so they're telling total is 377. So what happened? First we removed the first digit 5, then we took the remainder 372. So 372 plus 5 is 377. So that is how the program works. Is there anything else? Yeah. Also find the remainder of the same and add them and display the result. That's what we have done, right? So this is how you do that program. And you guys understood, right? The modulus and the division parts. I know it's very tricky for now, but again, I just suggest you guys to take a screenshot or note all of this down, and then maybe you'll when you read it again, you will get the track of it. Remainder and okay, so mod and div. Okay. Any other question, guys?
So I have a doubt. Like, there's a similar program, but then should we use the same logic? Like the program is write a program to read units, tens, and hundreds of a number, and from user and display the corresponding number. So should we use the same logic?
Units, tens, and hundreds. Okay, they're telling read the digit in units, tens place, and hundreds place, and print the like final number.
Corresponding number, yes.
Yeah. So here, right, there's a very funny thing you can do. I'll tell you what the funny thing here is. Okay. Read tens, hundreds, and units, right? Okay. Now I'll solve it in the a comedy way. Okay, and you tell me what is happening. Public class number public static void main alias scanner in hundreds system dot out dot hundreds. Okay, I think that's the spelling of hundreds, guys. Please correct me if that's wrong. In 100 is equal to sn dot next int. I'm losing power. I just do my battery. Okay, it's already on battery save mode. Okay. hundreds plus tens plus. Okay, let's see this program, right? Enter hundreds place of the number, let's say that is 3. Enter tens place, enter units place. Okay, 321. Perfect, I got the correct result. But is this the way that they wanted us to do it? Can anybody tell me what other way they might have wanted us to do it in? I mean, again, this is the right program, but we have used some sort of a trick to get the correct answer. What they're basically telling us, right? They're telling us to convert this hundreds, tens, and units place into one number and print that number finally out. So how would we do that? We have hundreds place, tens place, and units place. So if you guys remember, right, in our basic level, if we had a number like 564 and they tell represent this in extended form or something, we'll tell 500s and 564, right? So this is how we'll represent it. So this can also be written as 6 into 10 and 4. Okay, now can you guys give me any logic? How do I convert this hundreds, tens, and units into one proper number, 564? I've already given a clue here. So I'll just tell you how to do this. 5 into 100.
So what about dividing the hundreds, the number into 100, and then the tens into 10, and then adding all the 3?
Yeah, that you can do. Perfect. That is a good solution. But here, right, they've asked us to approach the problem from another way. They've given this part, the right hand side values that they're giving, hundreds, tens, and units, and we are supposed to get the original number. Right? So 4 into 1. So this is the same logic that we'll be using here. So if they enter 5, 6, 4, so 5 into 100 plus 6 into 10 plus 4 into 1, because 5 is in hundreds place, so we have to multiply with 100. 6 is in tens place, we have to multiply with 10, and 4 is in units place, we have to multiply it with 1. Okay, so let's just see how that works. And total is equal to hundreds into 100 plus 6 into 10, tens into 10 plus units, into 1. So that's just units, right? So I'll leave that there. Hundreds. Okay, now let's print out and see what is our system.out.println total 54532. Okay, so 532 we got. So this is how this works, guys. You always have to take the place value. Place value is 100 here, and face value is whatever number they enter. So 5 into 100 will give 500. Face value in tens place is 10. Place value is 10 and face value is whatever number they enter. So face value into place value there also, and finally units. So then we add all of that up together and we get the final result, right? So that is
So both the ways were correct. Like the previous one is also correct. This is also correct.
See, the previous one is correct, okay, but that is not the way they expect you to do it in exam, because that's like
Okay.
So let's say you get something like you have to print a pattern like this, okay. So let's say system.out. So I'm just doing something like this. Okay, let's see if this pattern comes up. Yeah, see, now also same answer I'm getting. I got the correct answer of the pattern when I've solved it on one line. But it is not the way to do it in the exam. You have to do it like in the proper use. Like this problem, you are supposed to solve it using for loops and stuff. And I know where you're coming from. I know it seems pointless that they make us do all this. But again, it's more about understanding the logic behind why we do the program than getting it right. Okay, so that is what's the story. Any other doubts, guys?